Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., the 46th President of the United States, is a leader whose life story reflects resilience, empathy, and lifelong public service. His journey to the presidency is not defined by sudden success, but by decades of perseverance, personal loss, and dedication to the American people. Joe Biden was born on November 20th, 1942 in Scranton, Pennsylvania. He was raised in a working-class family that understood hardship and determination. His early environment shaped his deep connection with ordinary Americans. Biden's father struggled financially at times, teaching him the dignity of work and the pain of economic insecurity. These experiences gave Biden a lasting understanding of middle-class challenges. He often spoke about how financial struggle shapes character. As a child, Joe Biden faced a serious stutter. He worked tirelessly to overcome it through practice and determination. This early challenge helped build his resilience and empathy. Biden learned that persistence could overcome obstacles. This lesson stayed with him throughout his life. It became a central part of his character. Joe Biden attended the University of Delaware, where he studied history and political science. He later earned his law degree from Syracuse University College of Law. During his education, he developed a strong interest in public service. In 1972, at the age of just 29, Joe Biden was elected to the United States Senate. He became one of the youngest senators in American history. His victory reflected both ambition and trust from the people of Delaware. Tragedy struck shortly after his election. Biden's wife, Nelia, and his daughter, Naomi, were killed in a car accident. His sons, Beau and Hunter, were seriously injured but survived. This devastating loss shaped Biden's life forever. He considered leaving politics to raise his children. Instead, he chose to serve while commuting daily by train to be with his family. This decision symbolized Biden's commitment to family and duty. He became known as Amtrak Joe for his daily train rides. These routines grounded him in humility and connection. As a senator, Biden focused on justice, foreign policy, and civil rights. He worked across party lines to pass meaningful legislation. His approach emphasized negotiation and respect. Biden served as chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. He played a key role in shaping criminal justice legislation. He also worked on violence prevention and civil liberties. Biden was instrumental in passing the Violence Against Women Act. This landmark law provided protections and support for victims of domestic violence. It reflected his belief in dignity and safety for all. Foreign policy became one of Biden's strongest areas of expertise. As chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, he shaped U.S. global engagement. He believed diplomacy and alliances were essential to global stability. Biden supported arms control, NATO expansion, and international cooperation. He emphasized America's role as a responsible global leader. His views were shaped by decades of experience. Throughout his Senate career, Biden built relationships across ideological divides. He believed compromise was not weakness, but strength. This belief defined his legislative style. In 2008, Barack Obama selected Joe Biden as his running mate. The decision was based on Biden's experience and credibility. Together, they formed a balanced and effective leadership team. Joe Biden served as vice president from 2009 to 2017. During this time, he played a key role in major policy initiatives. He was often entrusted with complex and sensitive missions. Biden helped oversee the economic recovery following the 2008 financial crisis. He worked closely with Congress to implement the Recovery Act. Millions of jobs were saved or created during this period. As vice president, Biden was also deeply involved in foreign policy. He advised on Iraq, Afghanistan, and relations with allies. His steady guidance was valued by global leaders. Personal tragedy returned when Biden lost his son, Beau, to cancer in 2015. This deeply affected him and reinforced his empathy for grieving families. He became an advocate for cancer research and patient care. Despite grief, Biden continued serving with dedication. He drew strength from public service and family. His resilience inspired many Americans. In 2020, Biden announced his candidacy for president. He framed his campaign around restoring unity and dignity. His message focused on healing and competence. Americans elected Joe Biden during a time of crisis. The nation faced a pandemic, economic instability, and deep division. Biden promised steady leadership and compassion.
Joe Biden was sworn in as President of the United States on January 20th, 2021. He took office during one of the most challenging moments in modern American history. The country was facing a global pandemic, economic uncertainty, and social division. Biden's inauguration message focused on unity and healing. He called for calm, cooperation, and respect for democratic values. His tone set the foundation for his presidency. One of Biden's first priorities was addressing the COVID-19 pandemic. He approached the crisis with science-based decision-making. Public health experts were placed at the center of policy. Biden launched a national vaccination campaign immediately after taking office. The goal was to provide vaccines quickly and equitably. Millions of Americans received vaccinations within months. The administration expanded vaccine distribution to rural and underserved communities. Mobile clinics and federal partnerships increased access. This effort saved countless lives. Biden also emphasized clear communication during the pandemic. He regularly addressed the nation with updates and guidance. His approach reduced confusion and restored public trust. The American Rescue Plan became one of Biden's most significant early achievements. This comprehensive relief package supported families, workers, and businesses. It provided direct payments to millions of Americans. Unemployment benefits were extended under the plan. Small businesses received critical assistance. Schools and local governments gained essential funding. Child poverty rates dropped significantly after the plan's implementation. Expanded child tax credits helped working families. This reflected Biden's commitment to economic fairness. Biden viewed economic recovery as an opportunity to build a stronger foundation. He emphasized rebuilding the middle class. His policies focused on long-term growth rather than short-term fixes. Infrastructure became a central pillar of Biden's agenda. He argued that roads, bridges, and broadband were essential to competitiveness. The bipartisan Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act addressed these needs. This historic legislation funded transportation, clean water, and internet access. It created jobs across the country. Communities long neglected received renewed investment. Biden stressed the importance of bipartisanship during the infrastructure negotiations. Lawmakers from both parties worked together. This cooperation demonstrated effective governance. Climate change was treated as an urgent national priority. Biden rejoined the Paris Climate Agreement on his first day in office. This decision restored American leadership on environmental issues. The administration invested in clean energy and sustainability. New policies encouraged innovation in renewable technology. These efforts aimed to protect future generations. Biden emphasized that climate action could also create jobs. He promoted green manufacturing and infrastructure.
Economic growth and environmental protection were linked. Healthcare remained a major focus of Biden's presidency. He worked to strengthen and expand the Affordable Care Act. Millions gained improved access to healthcare coverage. Lowering prescription drug costs became a key goal. The administration negotiated reforms to reduce prices. These changes helped seniors and families manage expenses. Biden also addressed racial equity and social justice. He signed executive orders promoting equal opportunity. Federal agencies were directed to examine systemic disparities. Education was prioritized as a national investment. Biden supported increased funding for public schools. He emphasized teacher support and student well-being. During international engagements, Biden focused on rebuilding alliances. He reaffirmed commitments to NATO and global partnerships. Diplomacy was restored as a central tool of foreign policy. Biden approached global challenges through cooperation rather than isolation. He believed strong alliances enhanced security. This approach reassured international partners. The withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan marked a major decision. Biden emphasized ending America's longest war. He framed the move as a necessary transition. While controversial, the decision reflected Biden's long-held views. He believed military engagement must have clear objectives. Ending the conflict allowed focus on future challenges. Biden's leadership style was calm and methodical. He valued expertise and institutional knowledge. This contrasted with more confrontational approaches. Transparency and accountability were emphasized across the administration. Ethical standards were reinforced. Public service was framed as a responsibility. Biden regularly highlighted the importance of democracy. He condemned political violence and extremism. Protecting democratic institutions remained a central theme. He supported voting rights and civic participation. Biden argued that democracy works best when voices are heard. Civic engagement was encouraged nationwide. Economic indicators showed steady recovery during Biden's early years. Job growth rebounded strongly. Unemployment rates declined. Manufacturing investment increased across several sectors. Supply chain resilience became a policy focus. Domestic production was encouraged. Biden emphasized respect for labor and workers' rights. He supported unions and fair wages. His policies aimed to strengthen worker protections. Public trust slowly stabilized during this period. Biden's steady presence provided reassurance. Leadership focused on stability rather than spectacle.
President Joe Biden placed a strong emphasis on restoring trust in government. He believed trust was essential for a functioning democracy. His administration focused on transparency and accountability. Biden worked to rebuild the professional civil service. Experts and career officials were empowered again. This restored stability within federal institutions. One of Biden's defining traits was empathy. He often connected policy to real human experiences. His speeches reflected personal understanding of loss and struggle. Biden emphasized unity not as a slogan, but as a responsibility. He acknowledged disagreements while calling for mutual respect. This tone shaped national dialogue. Social justice remained a central concern. Biden addressed systemic inequality through executive action and legislation. He emphasized fairness in housing, employment, and education. The administration strengthened protections against discrimination. Federal agencies were directed to enforce civil rights laws. Equality under the law was reinforced. Biden supported criminal justice reform. He promoted rehabilitation and fair sentencing. Community-based solutions were encouraged. Gun violence prevention became a policy priority. Biden advocated for background checks and safety measures. Public safety and constitutional rights were balanced. Healthcare equity was emphasized across communities. Rural and underserved populations received targeted support. Access to care was treated as a basic necessity. Mental health awareness gained national attention. Biden expanded funding for mental health services. This addressed long-neglected needs. Education policy focused on opportunity and inclusion. Biden supported community colleges and workforce training. Lifelong learning was encouraged. Student loan relief became a significant issue. Biden worked to reduce financial burdens on borrowers. Education was framed as an investment, not a privilege. Veterans affairs remained close to Biden's heart. He expanded health care and support services for veterans. Military families received increased attention. Foreign policy under Biden emphasized democratic values. He framed global challenges as tests of cooperation. Allies were treated as partners. Biden strengthened relationships with European and Asian allies. He reaffirmed commitments to mutual defense. Trust was rebuilt on the global stage. Support for Ukraine became a defining moment. Biden coordinated international assistance and diplomacy. Democracy and sovereignty were emphasized. Biden avoided direct military escalation. He prioritized sanctions and coalition-based responses. Strategic restraint guided decisions. The administration emphasized competition without conflict. China policy focused on diplomacy and economic strength. Long-term strategy replaced reactive measures. Biden's leadership style favored consultation. Decisions were made through discussion and analysis. This reduced impulsive actions. Climate leadership continued through international summits. Biden encouraged global emissions reduction commitments. Collective action was promoted. Environmental justice became part of climate policy. Communities disproportionately affected received attention. Equity and sustainability were linked. Economic policy continued focusing on middle-class growth. Manufacturing incentives supported domestic industry. Job creation remained a priority. Biden emphasized fair taxation. He argued the wealthy should pay their share. Revenue was directed towards public investment. Technology and innovation were supported through federal programs. Research and development funding increased. American competitiveness was strengthened. Biden also addressed misinformation and digital responsibility. He supported efforts to protect factual discourse. Truth and accountability were emphasized. Public service ethics were reinforced. Conflicts of interest were addressed openly. Government integrity was restored. Biden often spoke about America's soul. He framed leadership as moral responsibility. Values guided policy decisions. Faith and personal belief influenced Biden's worldview. He respected religious freedom and pluralism. Compassion remained central. Despite political polarization, Biden maintained calm leadership. He avoided inflammatory rhetoric. Civility was prioritized. Biden understood the weight of history. He viewed leadership as stewardship. Short-term gains were balanced against long-term impact. The administration focused on preparedness for future crises. Lessons from past challenges informed planning. Resilience became a guiding principle. Public opinion reflected appreciation for stability. Biden's leadership offered reassurance. Steady governance regained value.
President Joe Biden's economic vision focused on rebuilding from the middle out and the bottom up. He believed strong economies grow when working people thrive. This philosophy guided many of his policies. Biden emphasized domestic manufacturing as a national priority. He supported incentives for American-made products. Supply chain independence became a strategic goal. The CHIPS and Science Act represented a major investment in technology. It strengthened semiconductor production in the United States. This move enhanced national security and economic competitiveness. Biden viewed innovation as key to future prosperity. He increased funding for scientific research. Universities and laboratories benefited nationwide. Small businesses received renewed support. Federal programs expanded access to capital. Entrepreneurship was encouraged as an engine of growth. Biden also focused on rural economic development. Broadband expansion connected remote communities. Access to digital infrastructure reduced inequality. Inflation presented a serious challenge during Biden's presidency. Global supply disruptions affected prices. Biden responded with targeted economic measures. The administration addressed inflation through strategic releases and market stabilization. Efforts focused on protecting consumers. Economic pressures were treated as shared challenges. Biden emphasized honesty in discussing economic difficulties. He acknowledged concerns rather than minimizing them. This transparency helped maintain credibility. Energy policy balanced affordability with sustainability. Biden supported clean energy while ensuring supply stability. Energy independence remained important. Healthcare cost reduction remained a central goal. Prescription drug price reforms delivered savings. Seniors benefited from negotiated pricing. Biden supported strengthening Social Security and Medicare. He opposed cuts to these programs. Retirement security was protected. Labor rights were emphasized through executive action. Biden supported collective bargaining. Worker protections were reinforced. Economic recovery programs focused on long-term stability. Short-term relief was paired with structural investment. Future resilience guided decisions. Biden faced criticism throughout his presidency. He accepted dissent as part of democracy. Opposition did not deter his commitment. Rather than responding with anger, Biden remained measured. He valued institutional respect. Leadership was framed as service, not conflict. Biden frequently addressed the nation during moments of crisis. His tone was calm and reassuring. Stability became his hallmark. Public confidence gradually improved in many sectors. Markets adjusted to policy direction. Government predictability restored trust. Biden's foreign economic policy emphasized fair competition. Trade relationships were recalibrated. Workers' interests were included in negotiations. Global cooperation on economic recovery was encouraged. International forums regained importance. Collective solutions were prioritized. Biden emphasized the importance of truth in leadership. Facts guided policy decisions. Science informed governance. The administration strengthened disaster preparedness. Climate resilience programs expanded. Communities received preventative support. Biden highlighted the role of government in protecting citizens. Public investment was treated as essential. Private sector growth was complemented by public action. Despite political division, Biden consistently called for unity. He rejected demonization of opponents. Respectful discourse was encouraged. Biden believed democracy required patience and participation. He urged citizens to remain engaged. Civic responsibility was emphasized. Education funding expanded during his presidency. Early childhood programs gained support. Opportunity gaps were addressed. Biden supported teachers and school staff. Education was treated as national infrastructure. Future generations were prioritized. Veteran services continued to receive attention. Healthcare access improved for former service members. Mental health support expanded. Biden's leadership reflected decades of experience. He relied on historical perspective. Lessons from past administrations informed choices. The presidency demanded endurance. Biden approached it with discipline. Consistency defined his approach. Global perception of American leadership stabilized. Allies expressed renewed confidence. Diplomatic credibility was restored. Biden framed leadership as responsibility to history. Decisions were made with future impact in mind. Stewardship guided action.
President Joe Biden's legacy continues to evolve. He left a mark on American governance through empathy, resilience, and service. His presidency has been characterized by steady leadership in turbulent times. Biden emphasized that government exists to serve its people. He consistently focused on public welfare over political gain. Policies were shaped by real-world challenges. Public health remains a central aspect of his presidency. Vaccine distribution, pandemic response, and healthcare reforms saved millions of lives. Preparedness and science-based policy were core principles. Biden's economic approach combined relief with investment. Short-term measures addressed urgent needs. Long-term policies built structural resilience. Infrastructure improvements reflect his commitment to national growth. Bridges, roads, and broadband connect communities. Job creation and modernization were priorities. Climate action is a defining part of his impact. Rejoining the Paris Agreement restored global leadership. Domestic initiatives promoted clean energy and environmental justice. Social equity and justice remain cornerstones of his administration. Executive orders and legislation aimed to reduce systemic disparities. Civil rights, worker protections, and healthcare access were advanced. Education continues to benefit from Biden's policies. Funding for schools, workforce training, and college affordability expanded opportunity. Teachers, students, and families have been supported nationwide. Biden's foreign policy emphasized diplomacy and alliances. International credibility was restored. Global challenges were addressed with coalition-based strategies. Ukraine's support and responses to international crises showcased decisive yet measured leadership. Sanctions and diplomacy balanced military restraint. American values were reinforced on the world stage. Biden consistently demonstrated empathy in leadership. Personal losses shaped his understanding of grief and resilience. This allowed him to connect deeply with citizens. He framed leadership as a moral responsibility. Decisions were guided by ethics, history, and vision. Empathy and prudence guided both domestic and international policy. Biden's communication style emphasized clarity and honesty. He addressed citizens directly during crises. Transparency built trust. Despite political polarization, Biden prioritized unity. He rejected inflammatory rhetoric. Civility and respect for institutions were hallmarks of his presidency. Public engagement was encouraged. Voting rights, civic responsibility, and participation were emphasized. Democracy was framed as an active, ongoing effort. Biden also focused on long-term national resilience. Preparedness, economic stability, and climate readiness were prioritized. Policies aimed to protect future generations. Veterans and military families received continued attention. Healthcare, mental health, and career support programs were expanded. Service members' contributions were honored. Biden's presidency demonstrated the value of experience. Decades in the Senate and as vice president informed measured decision-making. Institutional knowledge guided strategy. Challenges such as inflation, social division, and global crises were met with perseverance. Solutions combined pragmatism and principle. Public reassurance remained a key focus. Biden's personal story continues to inspire. From a working-class upbringing to the highest office in the nation, resilience and determination shaped his path. His life reflects the possibilities within American democracy. Biden emphasized hope through action. He defined hope as a commitment to work, responsibility, and moral duty.
citizens were encouraged to participate in shaping the nation. His legacy encompasses service, ethics, and empathy. Policies on health, economy, climate, and justice continue to affect millions. Leadership is measured not by personal gain, but by positive impact on society. Biden's administration has reinforced the idea that steady, compassionate leadership matters. Crises require calm decision-making and attention to expertise. His style demonstrated the value of patience, collaboration, and moral clarity. Historically, Joe Biden will be remembered as a president who bridged experience with empathy. He navigated extraordinary challenges with dignity and perseverance. His commitment to unity, public service, and democratic values sets a benchmark for future leaders. Ultimately, Joe Biden's story is about service over self-interest. It is about lifting communities, supporting the vulnerable, and restoring trust in governance. His presidency offers lessons in resilience, morality, and the enduring promise of democracy. For citizens and future leaders, Biden's example underscores the importance of participation. It reminds us that progress is built through collective effort and ethical leadership. His tenure represents the continuing journey of a nation striving for equity, stability, and opportunity. Joe Biden's life and presidency demonstrate that leadership is not about power alone. It is about responsibility, compassion, and service to the greater good. These principles define his lasting impact on the United States and the world.